So I know Mr. Wade is now going to slickly share his slide deck because we rock and roll that way. But welcome to those of you that are watching this on the replay. And for those of you that are joining us live, you've got plenty of time to ask us any questions. I'm Anna, and this is Lewis.
Hello, I am Lewis. Yes, I am. So this webinar is all about an e-commerce sort of discovery training platform that we're putting together, which is all about how to identify profitable products and strategies and techniques for trying to get you in the right lane, really, to be able to get inspired and to be able to sort of find these profitable products out there. I always say it's like trying to train yourself so you become instinctive at being able to spot these. Whenever I go out to China, particularly with groups of people that we're going out there with, I can quite often spot something and just know exactly how I'm going to market it, how I'm going to sell it, and that it's going to be a winning product. And that just comes really with experience for understanding products, understanding which platform it's going to be sold on, and how I'm going to basically market that product. So you get a bit of a flavor and a bit of a taster for that as we sort of go through this webinar. So let me just pop that box down there. So in this webinar, you're going to get a brief history about mine and Anna's e-commerce backgrounds, events that we've done, previous training programs, and we're going to explain to you really why you should listen to us, and and what we have to say sort of counts. And if you can stay to the end of the webinar, you're going to gain a good understanding of why it's important to be able to master the art of being able to find profitable products on your own, as well as an insight into what software we use and how we analyze potential products to sell. We're also going to share with you product examples that we've imported and sold online, and including the success and failures for those products so you can learn from our mistakes. We're also going to explain what your e-commerce journey with us will look like and how we're going to take you from zero to hero with the eCom Pro Club and becoming an e-commerce expert, whether that's managing, owning, and running your own brands, either as a side hustle or as a full-time importer selling on outlets such as Amazon, eBay, and Shopify. So I'm going to give you a brief introduction to me because a lot of you coming from the Propreneur Club won't really know me. You probably haven't seen me there just yet if you're coming new to this. So I'm going to give you a bit of a background as to who I am, what I've done previously, and why you should sort of take training from me, really. So I'm not this guy. I do get confused for this guy quite a lot, but there's definitely some, I think, similarities there between me and good old Chuck. But yeah, I'm not Chuck Norris despite appearances. However, I was on Storage Hunters UK. If you've seen my beardy face or think I look familiar somewhere, this was done, I think, back in 2014, something like that. So I had a warehouse at the back of a self-storage company, and when they were scouting to run the UK version of Storage Hunters, they needed some product placement. So they asked me if I could provide some products to go on the tarps in some containers. So that should tell you a little bit about the show and how it's all run, and what you see on telly isn't always what actually is on telly. But I had a great time with it. So I did Storage Hunters Blackpool and I did Storage Hunters Preston, and I had a really good time with some of the crew there. Particularly Heavy D. If anyone's actually seen Storage Hunters UK, know he's a bit of a character. But yeah, it was fun times for sure. So I was a UK importer and I sold primarily on eBay. eBay is where I started out, and I also came onto Amazon later on in my sort of career of selling online. I also had my own dedicated e-commerce websites, particularly sort of Shopify, really. and WordPress sites. I've actually been importing since 2003, and I started my business selling mini motorbikes on eBay, as pictured above. If anybody sort of remembers those back in the day. I ran basically as a 1.8 million pound turnover import business. I consulted for many UK businesses, and I've also been a guest speaker for eBay and Global Sources in Hong Kong. To give you an idea of my business operation, I was predominantly importing in 20-foot and 40-foot containers, and they were all sold from dedicated warehousing. I actually wound down my business in 2000 when the pandemic hit, just because I couldn't get out to China, and importing containers was very, very costly to do. And if I'm honest, I just wanted to kind of come out the business a little bit, take stock of what I've done, where I've been, what I've got. And I also had a property portfolio that I was looking to try and get rid of as well. So it gave me ample opportunity then to come out of the business and over COVID to sort of renovate those properties and get rid of them. But I'm actively looking back to get out to China and to start importing again. But yeah, I've got quite a lot of history. As I say, 2003 was my start point. I've seen many things sort of come and go, many things change in the industry. So I've got quite a breadth deep of knowledge to sort of share with you, really. So yes, I've travelled pretty much all around China. The main sort of places are Beijing for fairs in Beijing, the Canton Fair. Um, uh, Spent plenty of time in Shanghai. Spent plenty of time in Yiwu, Guangzhou as well. So I've pretty much travelled all over China, in and out of all the nice factories there. Also, go to the NEC show quite often, which we'll talk about later on in the slideshow, which is a great trade fair show down in Birmingham. So yeah, so it's good to sort of get out a bit and go to all these shows and get an idea of what's happening out there, what China is gearing up to sell across the world, and by being able to get out to China and go to these shows, it's just a really really good experience in seeing how manufacturing works out there, how supplying works out there, and basically how to do business out there. It's very very different doing business out there than it is in the Western world. Again, just a few more pictures because pictures tell 1,000 sort of words. This was me out in China with Adam, one of my agents that I've been with for quite a few years. And this was Ben. Ben was one of my very first students, and he did quite well. He came out to China with me, and we got him into all sorts of stuff to sort of bring back and sell online. He was in fitness equipment and yeah, did really really well with it. I also got industry recognition by Global Sources. Global Sources is probably one of the main competitors to Alibaba. They're a massive global sourcing sort of web portal out in China, and they have a number of fairs in China throughout the year. And they got wind of me and understood what I was doing and how successful I was on eBay. And they asked me to come over and give a presentation. And I also was on stage with a chap called Bernard Liu, who was the business director for eBay Hong Kong, where we took questions from the audience. So yeah, that was a nice little bit of notoriety, really, for to recognition to come over and chat at one of their seminars. I've also been a speaker, a guest speaker at eBay's Key Merchant Growth seminars. This was back in the day when uh, I'd say sort of not wouldn't say high profile, but significant sellers had their own dedicated eBay account managers. And I had one of the fastest growing eBay shops for mini motos and mini dirt bikes and such on eBay. So they asked me to come in and give a speech back in, I think that was 2010, I think 2010, 2011. So again, just another great bit of notoriety to say who I am, what I was doing, and for me to sort of share my experiences with other eBay sellers. I've also been a guest speaker for a company called Amazfest, which is like an Amazon sellers conference that they hold every year. I've been there. I've been a guest speaker, keynote speaker, panel speaker. And again, it just adds a little bit of credibility to who I am and notoriety of where I've been and what I've been doing in the business, really. This was one of my eBay sales accounts. I actually had four running at the time, so I took a screenshot. I think this was back in 2018, 2019. So you can see it was just under 900 grand is what I turned over. I think that year it was 1.4 or something like that. So yeah, just to show and just to reiterate, I was kind of doing the do really at selling online. And I've always had a bit of a philosophy: work like a captain, play like a pirate. And again, this is not to like sort of brag or to boast or anything like that. But I used to live in Livham. My vices are cars. I like cars. I've had a nice house and stuff like that. And I think sometimes people want to see that you've been successful, particularly in what you're teaching. People are going to buy into you if they can see that you've been successful at something. And I've been successful at importing, and I've been successful at at selling online. And like the rest of us, we all like the nicer things in life. And again, I've had a very good lifestyle. My vice is cars. I Anything to do with cars, holidays, or cars and holidays combined together. That's me. I've done many car rallies, done the Modball rally, which was very interesting. Usually, when I go to China, I tend to fly business class. I've had some nice holidays going to the Maldives. I love snowboarding, etc. So again, it's just to give you a flavour of what this business has allowed me to do. I'm not the brightest, or the sharpest tool in the box, should we say, or the brightest spark. I'm actually dyslexic. So at school, that was undiagnosed, and I came out of school with not many qualifications, but I managed to sort of scrape through, get myself to uni, and uni wasn't really where I wanted to be, etc. And I came out of uni, and thankfully I kind of got involved in this game of selling online, and I've been very very successful at it. And yeah, I enjoy my life, and I think that's what people want to see, really. People that are successful and that can enjoy the life. I've also put together training for students because, as well as being successful, it's always good to give back. And I started out training students, people that were interested in being able to sell online back in 2003. And I sort of carried that on all the way up to 2019, I think was the last one, or maybe 2020. I might have done an online version in 2020 when we had lockdown. But yeah, so I'm good at training people, and I've created many genuine success stories as well. And we can see that by testimonials that I receive from people who have come on my training events. I'm not going to sort of go through all those, but I'm sure there'll be a copy of this slide, or you can be able to stop the recording and read some of those. But again, that should just give you a little bit of, me really a bit of credibility for you that are wanting to buy into me and thinking, why should I listen to this guy? And why should I pay, some money to come on his training? Really, it's just to sort of back up who I am, what I've done, and why people have come on my training. And again, more testimonials. And these are people that have come on my training and then sort of followed through, where they've imported containers of stock, they've sold online, and they've been successful at what they've been doing. And again, they've been sort of talking about that in a private sort of Facebook group that we've had for that training package that I used to offer a few years back. And again, some more testimonials, and again, people following through. Just to give you a little bit of an indicator, this guy here that you've seen pop up in that slide there and this slide here, he is a firefighter and was facing redundancy. And he came on a training course of mine, was scratching his head for a while and trying to find profitable products. And we got him into a product doing pet pens. And he started importing pet pens. He had a double garage, so he managed to fill a double garage full of pet pens. And then he had to move some of the pet pens into his living room, which I don't think his wife was particularly happy at the time. But he then he grew the business. And you can see here, this is more of his pet pens coming in. He moved on to self-storage units, and has done really well, and has launched a number of pet related products and gone down that route. And got his own dedicated e-commerce website selling pet related products as well. So it's quite good and inspirational for people to see that, who have come on training, They've followed the training through and have now got a successful business. Ian has also come out to China with me as well. And this is what, the Pro Canoe Club will be offering as part of, the eCom Pro sort of aspects of that we will be offering trips out to China. Maybe the end of this year, but most likely next year. I think we're just going to have to see how that's going to sort of play out for this year. But it's a great experience taking students out to China, taking to the manufacturers of where their products being made, looking at finding new products out there. And Ian, we took him out to a place called Ewu, that I'll talk about again later on in this slide deck. It's a great place to be able to find small product to sort of import and sell on the likes of Amazon. Ian found again another pet related product that he was able to make some design changes to, brought that product in, and I think he launched it on, I'm sure he said it was New Year's Day, and he did £1,000 turnover just on New Year's Day launching it. So he's done really well, and we have a bit of a laugh when we go out there. Me with a little bit of a, I don't know, tutu, whatever you want to call it. We go on the bullet train and stuff, and we have a good time when we go. Again, just some more slides with different agents. This was Jackie, who was a really good agent near Ewu. And this was Luke. I can't remember what his business partner was called, but Luke's been a really, really good agent in the past. And we always go out to dinner and what have you, and go to the Bund in Shanghai. And we make it a good time when we go out to China. We work hard, but we play hard as well on the last day. Anna loves Ewu too. Anna's come out to Ewu. This was Anna. I think I told her she was eating dog here. So that's why I think she's got a bit of a strange look on her face. But yeah, it was a very, very strange restaurant. And this restaurant was based at Ewu. There was lots of things hanging up that had been, I don't know, cut up and whatever. So all sorts of things had been thrown in your noodles. But yeah, we had a bit of fun with that. It wasn't actually dog,
tip,
Anna. You're all right.
top
You're
tip
safe.
vegetarian for the week.
Eat vegetarian, exactly. Go vegetarian, or eat like a king the week before you go to China, and then you're all right. But yeah, Ewu's a great place to go to, and I think probably one of the first trips that we'll do with the Pro Canoe Club is we'll be going out to Ewu, because it's such a colossal place. You can see in the background here, this is actually a mock-up of how of the size of the place. You don't really get a scale for it, but it's built up of 5 different districts. And I say, to get from District 1 to District 2, sometimes it's better to come out of District 1 and get a taxi and go to District 2. Or if you want to go from District 1 to District 3, definitely get a taxi. You need to be wearing comfortable trainers, but it's just a great place to go to source small related products to get onto eBay and Amazon.
Don't they say that?
And just to give you a quick,
Don't they say
sorry,
that you spent like 5 minutes at every single outlet?
yes,
It would take you a whole year to get around, or over a
whole
year.
year, take you a whole year, yeah, to go around. So that'll give you an indicator of how big it is. And again, just to give you a little bit of background about me and Anna, we've been sort of business partners for 10 years. We've been going out to China for 10 years. We've taken students out to China for 10 years. We've been training people for 10 years. So we kind of do the do, and we know what we're doing with it, because we don't just walk the walk, we talk it as well at the end of the day. We've also run our own training programs together. We've had our own dedicated sort of Facebook groups together, where we've done challenges in the Facebook groups. So you can see here people are, importing products and stuff like that. And this is what we're looking to do with eCom Pro, really. We've already set up our Facebook group, and we're looking to sort of replicate this and go one better. And we'll be importing stuff, and we'll be showing you what we're importing and what we're doing, and we'll have our own little challenges to sort of keep you guys going. And it's a great, it's a great place to come in. If you've got any questions or queries, you can drop them in there. And if we can't answer them straight away, other students will, and everybody helps out. And it's also a good way to sort of network and meet with other like-minded people, because you might look at a product and the MOQ, the minimum order quantity, might be, too much for you. So you could maybe buddy up with somebody else that's in the group, and you could sort of split that and order products and sell products together, but maybe market slightly differently. So there's all sorts of things you can do. And again, like I say, me and Anna have run our own little competitions on there. I think this was the hoverboards that we did. That was a frantic time, should we say? But we'd sold quite a few hoverboards over the course of sort of an Amazon Black Friday to a Cyber Monday, really in sales. I think we turned over, was it 42,000 or something? I think it was up to 52, wasn't it, by I don't know, the 16th, 17th day or something like that of doing hoverboards. So again, like I say, we'll show you and talk about products that we're importing, and what we've done in the past together. So we're gonna flip it over to Anna. So shall I stop sharing, or do you want to talk and I'll just
Yeah, you you do the slide deck.
okay?
You can be my lackey. That makes a change, doesn't
I'll be your lackey.
it?
That'll make a change.
So I think Lewis has done a good job so far of kind of like, because one of the reasons we wanted to do this webinar was a few of you met me face to face at the first anniversary of the Pro Club meetup last month in May. So I know I met a lot of you, but I'll just do a short sort of introduction for those of you that kind of weren't there, kind of overview, I suppose. So next slide, please. In fact, next slide. So a bit of background of me, really. I've been working the online space since 2012. Before that, I worked in the corporate world, and in fact, listening to Lewis about sort of his, with his dyslexia and this, that, and the other. My son actually has been diagnosed with dyslexia now, so I'm always coming to Lewis going, I don't know what to do with this, and I'm trying to get him into an entrepreneurial thing, and I can tell already that he is. He's definitely. I think when you do have things like dyslexia, you're looking at solutions all the time. I can see that in his mindset, so I can see how Lewis has got into this space, but. I was, in a way, we're a bit like yin and yang with a lot of things, aren't we, Lewis? And that's why I think we bring a lot together. My background is, sailed through school, did really well, went to an posh all-girls school in Lytham St Anne's, which you'll probably know about. And then went to uni, thought I was going to be a scientist, all this kind of stuff. Went into the pharmaceutical industry, and then I thought I was like living my life. I thought it was a dream. I was thought, yeah, I've got a company car, six-figure salary. I was the breadwinner in my family. And then I became a mum, realised I was in a toxic marriage, and got made redundant all in about the same few months. So that was kind of like my wake-up call. And I share it because I think sometimes there is just something, isn't there, that makes you do something different. And that was my kind of thing, that I thought I was sick of the corporate world. I could have gone back into it after being made redundant. I knew I was going to be a single mum at this point. And I think a lot of parents will relate to this, that you want to spend, I think there's a new age dad now, so it's not just mums, is it? You want to build a business where you can actually flex a bit of time and be able to spend time with your kids. So that was me. That's just sort of like the backstory. But 2012, in fact, it was the end of 2011, I was made redundant. 2012, I just thought, right, I'm going to go in the online space. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And so a little bit like Barry, you were saying before, I went into marketing. So Facebook marketing was my thing. So I already had that background in online marketing before I came into the e-commerce space, which really helped. And then started selling on Amazon in 2013. And me and Lewis met. We were both from the same town, Holton-le-Fylde, and that's what made us click. I think it made us allow us to trust each other. And we were always challenging each other. I've always been like that in the corporate world, kind of like trying to challenge the guys, for kind of leadership positions. So I loved the banter that me and Lewis have, because I think, if you're going to do something, you want to have a bit of fun as well. And we challenged each other, didn't we? Because you were like, oh, you were bringing in containers with kind of maybe, garden furniture, like the pet pens. large container stock, whereas I was doing small, lightweight products on Amazon and selling them in the US. I wasn't even selling them in the UK. So you challenged me, and we did a product. In fact, we did a few products together. You were selling on eBay, then I was selling on Amazon. And it was good fun. And it kind of, I think it sort of opened your eyes to, I know you'd also already sold on Amazon, but to the lightweight products. So you actually saw that, okay, you might need to sell more volume, but there is potential in that as well. It's just a different strategy.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it was the fulfillment by Amazon that really interested me to get involved with e-commerce, got to admit. And then since then, I've sold products on Etsy, not so much eBay. I remember, I think I met you once on the M6 services to do some listing
Yeah.
on eBay. I was like, I need your
I was
help.
doing your eBay listings, you were doing my Amazon listings for me.
Exactly. So what is good is we've got different experience. Lewis has got the import. Well, I've imported as well, but you've got the large container stock, eBay, and my expertise is like smaller, lightweight products, Amazon, US, UK, and Europe. And then also now Etsy, we're doing sort of, there's a lot of handmade or eco-friendly or sustainable products on there, and also digital downloads. So I coach people within the Amazon space and Etsy space. I also have a podcast. Next slide, please. And I've just said everything that's on there. The only thing that I've not said is that, like Lewis, I think it's good to know the bit of background from people. And these are just some of the things I've been recognized for. Forbes being my proudest, because Forbes, you can't just get into Forbes. You have to. I remember the journalist that invited me on, I had to prove like income, and I had to prove what I was saying. So it wasn't just, somebody interviewing you and you can say what you want. You had to back it up with your kind of evidence. So you can Google that article. And then also, I thought it was on the next slide. It's weird when someone else is doing these slides. So carry on to the next one. As I say, I've already kind of said most of this. I've taught over 2,000 students. I do speak online and offline. And I'm also really into books, and that really interested people when I was face to face at the Pro Club as well. A few people have reached out to me about books, because you can self-publish books on Amazon as well. And I've now got my 48th book on Amazon, and it's another kind of income stream for me where I'm a bit more sort of semi-passive income stream, really. So next slide. And this was something I'm really proud of as well, because DHgate, we were talking actually and kind of catching up just before we recorded about places like Temu and Shein and AliExpress, and DHgate is another one of those types of platforms where you can order one or two or just small volumes of items from China. It's really like the eBay of China. And they recognized me, and I won first place, and I actually got $5,000 as well for winning this. It was a female competition they were doing, so the guys weren't included. And yeah, I felt really proud of this, because it's a very rare to get money from China. We're normally giving China our dosh. So it was nice to be recognized for that as well. And these are just some screenshots again of students who have, I work with a brand here that was on yoga mats. They were in the luxury choice in the middle, Jim Bella. And as you can see, it's a really expensive yoga mat. And I tend to focus on building brands. And if you go to the next slide, just some other testimonials again of similar to like Lewis was sharing, really, just to show you that people are doing the do from the training that we've gone through with people. Next one. And again, some more screenshots of stuff that they recognises. So I just wanted to give you, if you go on to the next slide, Liz, what we're kind of going to cover is, again, I covered some of this at the Pro Club. Lewis has also got loads of different cases he wants to show. And I think it's really important, because the reason we're doing this with the Pro Club team and Essential Sourcing is because you don't want to just be choosing any product. It's really important that you have a process of validating products. And yes, we've got a course that is really affordable as well. A lot of the ladies that work with me over a year invest 3,000 to work with me, and it's going to be nothing like that within this eCom Pro project that we're doing, because we want to help more people. But the important thing to take away when we go through some of these examples is that you don't want to just get something like this. Someone bought me this because it matches my wallpaper behind. It's a marble, what do you call them? Like water, what are they called these? What are they called? They're like a thermostat. What are they called now? These are like the typical products. I don't even know what they are because I've never sourced them. This is the sort of thing that people go, oh, I think I'm going to do these kind of new water bottles or thermostat coffee things, or I want to do some hoodies that are a little bit like Gymshark. That's what a lot of people come to us and say, idea wise. And actually, there's a strategy around it, and we're going to teach you that strategy of how you validate products, because we want to find products that are in demand, but also are not too competitive, and also what is going to be your unique thing to stand out. So kind of covering this concept of why focus on hot products and finding hot products, and also creating a $50 product brand from a $5 item, and how we find these hot products to sell. And at the end, we're going to cover how you can then, come on board and work with us before you start using, Mick, Dave, and Claire and the team to source those items, so you're confident that these have been validated, and we're going to help you do that. So it's not like you're just going to follow a load of training and you're off on your own. We're going to help and guide you, because my first product took me 6 months to pick. And the reason being is I was overanalyzing a load of data that I was being taught. But I just needed someone to say, yeah, you're on the right track. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to help people validate. So if you just go, I've just got some examples. This was actually my first product. I did supplements in the US. The one on the green one it looks really dated now, actually, because now they're not in bottles, they're all in like eco-friendly pouches and things like that. But it was a follow-on series of a brand. So it was prenatal vitamin. I was in that mumsy world because I had young children. Skin, hair, and nail vitamin. A weight loss one. There was also a probiotic I did. And what's great about these kind of products is actually these weren't sourced from China; they were sourced in the US. So got into Amazon in a few days after production, and they're consumables. So people came back and get back again through subscribe and save. A lot of the customers. So really, really good growth on these products. And then if you go to the next slide, I just wanted to go through some examples of how you turn a product that's just a couple of dollars into a lot higher value from building a brand. So this was the Eye Protector Pro. A lot of them at the time were selling for $10. And it's like nowadays, you can't buy an iPhone case, can you, without a screen protector and something else, because they're so competitive now. But back then, this was around 2014, they weren't as competitive. What Eye Protector Pro did was have this premium packaging, which elevated the brand. And actually, we tested a different image. It was an image of a guy versus a girl smiling, and the girl smiling on that screen did a lot better with sales. So it was a bit verging on Apple, with iPhone, with the branding. We could have kind of had a bit of an IP situation, but it opened like the Apple packaging. So that slick packaging really elevates the brand and the perceived value. So this is just a really simple product, like a screen protector. We go on the next one, Optiglow, handheld tripods. This is a bit more. This isn't like small 20 to 30 pound or dollars item. This was selling for $500, and again, it came in this really slick packaging, white minimalistic box. Also came with a tripod and a little bag, carry bag, and it was when all these mini designs came in, to kind of carry your projector around with you. And then Jim Bella were some students of mine, did really well in the pandemic when they launched. They created their own yoga Pantone colors. So nobody else did the same colors of them on Amazon at all. And it also came in this really slick box, and it was bundled with a hemp towel and a hemp bag. They really ensured, because a lot of the time when you source it from China, they'll say it's eco-friendly, but then when you actually look at the ingredients, the material, it's not. And they made sure that it was fully eco-friendly material. And as I say, they did really well. They were selling it for 75 quid. I think I showed the screenshot earlier, the sales. So they did really, really well. And it shows you that actually I was actually in disbelief because I didn't think anyone would buy a yoga mat priced that highly, and they did. So it shows what you can do when you build a brand. And then the last one is by Furdus, which again, another sort of premium brand. The logos looks really premium. It was this white with the rose gold, and it came with a really nice little white pouch. A lot of the other makeup brush sets were being sold for like 19.99, and they were selling them for 35. So it just shows you of how, like we were talking at the beginning about building a brand is really, really important long term. And there's lots of different strategies, Again, these are some of the students that I'm working with right now. The Snuggle Puppy, which is a teddy bear with a heartbeat and a heat pack to keep your puppy who's got a friend while you're out and about, for anxious dogs. And they're still going pretty strong, they are. I thought they would be a faddy type product, but there's all sorts of different versions of them now. And she's looking to now launch a Dalmatian one. I think they do ones in lambs and all sorts of different things. So just some examples, and these snuffle mats as well, and the puppy carrier. It's surprising how niches change, and I think I recently got a dog, and I saw all these products that people are buying as seat belts now with the laws changed. There's so many different products that it moves, doesn't it, over a few years period of what are the on-trend products that dog owners need. So it's picking a particular niche and validating products within that niche and then growing that brand. So my winning strategy, and everybody has different ones, because you could literally go in as the cheapest, and there's different marketplaces. Like we said at the beginning, there's Etsy, which is sort of eco-friendly and sustainable products and digital products, print-on-demand products. Then you've got eBay, which tends to be more of your bargains, I think. I know I've realised that with my shopping, because you'll find the same sellers selling on all these platforms, and you'll see that eBay sometimes is the cheapest. Amazon, they'll put the price up a bit more, and Etsy even more, because Etsy is perceived that you're buying like a one-off item. So everybody has different strategies depending on the marketplace, and that will depend on the products you source of where you're going to sell it. You may even then build a Shopify store to really accelerate your brand. Ideally, you want to be on all of these platforms if it's appropriate. But my winning strategy, if you just go to the next slide, it's around solving problems, improving product features, and looking at what people are saying about the competition. And some of the softwares I use analyze what are the reviews saying on Amazon and how that product could then be improved. So I'm always looking for that unique spin, that differentiation. And it could even just be a different color, or how you shop on Amazon, you add something to your basket and it says some people buy this with this. That might be an idea to bundle that item in, because someone might buy it as a set. So it's always thinking about solving problems. And then also focusing on premium value, luxury materials, having that whole packaging. And this is because I mainly sell on Amazon. If you sold on other platforms, you might not go for this, because I think with next day Prime, people are buying gifts last minute for people. And generally, I think it's perceived. There are cheaper items on there, but I've seen how Amazon's changed since 2013 when I started. And they're focusing now on brands. They're trying to kind of get rid of unbranded products, and they're trying to encourage you to get a trademark. So they're rewarding you if you are a registered brand. So this means, premium value, that whole really nice packaging experience. So think about the products that you've bought where you've kept the box. I know I always keep my iPhone box, probably because I always recycle it and give it my son after I upgrade. But you keep certain packaging, don't you, if it's something that you really liked, that whole experience. And that's what I kind of tend to focus on. Next slide. So just a few points on finding hot products, and this is what we're going to really dig in deep with the the program that me and Lewis are putting together. But this is kind of like the process is looking for keywords that are in demand, because we kind of assume things on our language. So you might say garlic press, I might say garlic crusher. What is the winning keyword on Amazon? So we look at softwares to tell us which are the right keywords. And we might spot keywords, we might find these solving problems and looking at the demands. If we find that no one's buying garlic crushers, what's the point in doing them? Social platforms, looking at trends, looking at marketplaces. So I look at the US and bring ideas to the UK and vice versa. And then also asking our suppliers and the contacts that we've got and agents. And of course, going out to China directly really saves a lot of time. Because you don't have to wait for samples, you can make decisions when you're out there, but you've got to have a plan and you've got to know what products you've already validated before you go out there. So what we're setting up is in preparation to be doing that. Next slide. So these are the things that I think that you need to become an ecom pro or e-commerce pro, is deciding on what niche you're going to focus on, who is your target customer within that niche. So if we go back to the yoga mat example, if you were going to do a yoga mat for a woman of my age, it might be different if you were going to do one for a guy. You might do one that was, black and grey colours. So it's important to think about who's going to buy that item that you're going to sell. Looking at the research process and understanding and being an expert on finding products, because that work that you do now is going to help you in the future, because it gets easier. You spot things really quickly once you understand that process. Building a brand, having that differentiation so you can stand out against the competition and a unique selling proposition. Understanding your numbers. A lot of people get carried away with hobbies or, oh, I just love this product, I've got to do it, even if it's not validated. Like the water bottle example, or the hoodie or sports clothes and things like that. But we've got to make money at the end of the day. We're not here just to, you might want to build a side hustle, and so you may want an extra amount of money a month. But if you're going to go into this full time as well, you really want to be making sure you understand your numbers, and that's where a lot of people fall down. And then deciding where that product's going to be best sold. Is it going to be all the marketplaces, or is it going to be your own store, or is it just going to be one marketplace? So those are my bits that I'm going to be covering. And I know, Lewis, you're going to be doing a live session. I know we've got this on the Pro Club Day. We were going to share a live product research session. But today we've got loads of different examples, so we're not going to cover that just for time purposes. But you're going to be covering that with people as well, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So my part of my training is, again, we'll come on to this in slides later on, is that I'll be delivering a full sort of day's worth of training. It'll be recorded again on Zoom, and we'll be going into all sort of strategies, software that I use, techniques of trying to find products, how to source those products using, Chinese portal sites such as Alibaba, DHgate, AliExpress, and stuff like that. How to find hot selling products on those platforms as well. So yeah, it'll be a full day's training with product examples of things that I've imported in before, and showing the sort of success stories of those as well. So yeah, it'll be a good day. Certainly a good day. So we've got typically what a customer journey could look like with anyone that's fresh, that's coming through the Propreneur Club and wondering, oh, what's going to happen? How's it going to work? All the rest of it. So again, this is just to give you like a full kind of outlook, really, of a couple, Pam and Stephen, who came on some training with me a few moons ago. So this is Pam and Stephen here. And you can just about see Mick there looking at the screen. Mick came on that training day with me and was offering his services about importing and sharing all his experiences and knowledge and stuff like that. And again, it was a great sort of training day, really. And a lot of the information that was in that training day is going to be later on packaged up again for the Propreneur Club It's going to be tweaked. It's going to be, things added to it. It's going to be updated. And again, it's going to be a sort of a full advanced training, really, of, starting off with your bill of lading and trying to get your product on a container and getting it out, and then how you'd actually physically sell those and market those products on the likes of sort of eBay and Amazon. But yeah, this is just to give you, an indication of what, a customer experience can look like. So Pam and Stephen went out to China with Mick, and this is just a quick little video. I'm not going to play it all, but you can see them here. This was in one of the scooter factories that Mick's guy out in China managed to find them, and just showing them some really high quality scooters. Now, these guys they'd sold on eBay before, and they were doing, I think it was palleted Argos returns. So they had an idea of, being able to sort of sell on eBay, but they were doing it in a very basic way. They weren't doing it as, a brand or anything like that. They were just haphazard selling, I don't know, reused toasters and microwaves and God knows what else that was coming back from Argos, really. But it was good for them to come on training and then being able to have the opportunity to go out to China with somebody who's experienced like Mick, and try and source products that they were into, because they identified in a couple of the pallets that they were selling, these Argos returns, there was these little scooters, these micro scooters in there, and they found that they sold really well very quickly, and for a high value to what they were purchasing them at on the returns. So this was something that they indicated that they wanted to sell or get into, really. I shall just stop that. And again, I think that was a bit of a good experience for them. They went out, saw the factory. I think they did the wining and dining and all the rest of it that they usually tend to do out there, don't they, Mick? With a supplier, and the manufacturer, and got to see sort of firsthand, how they do business out there, and and how different it is, as I sort of stated before. Mick also was able to sort of look after them in terms of the logistics. So I think this was Agility shipping that I've used many a times before. We went out to one of Agility's warehousing, where Mick sort of had overseen their scooters coming in with a freight forwarder, and we were checking them off and making sure everything was right, before they were going to go out to Pam and Stephen. And also, you're not sort of left alone. There's a full sort of service team here that's involved in this. And these are some of the guys that have come through BNI and other contacts, really, that have been out there in the ether with Mick. And this was a chap called Wayne, who's a really good photographer, and he took some really good sort of product photography. We've got Adam in the middle, who's a graphic designer, and we sort of used him for lifestyle photography shots and what have you. And it was Adam that I believe sort of created their brand and their logo, Atom Scooters, and I think helped them out with the website as well. So all this is sort of there for you, who's somebody who's coming through this training, that you're not going to get left in the dark. You're not going to, who should I go to for this? Who should I go to for that? We've used these people. We've tried and tested. We know how they work. We know how good their product is, at what they're good at delivering, and it's there to be had, really, for somebody who's coming through as a customer through our training, and wants to sort of build a brand, really. This was their website, Atom Scooters. It's still up, and they've branched out from the scooter and brought in other different variations of the scooter. I think they've got Bug Scooter as well, which is another one that's on there. So again, this is all available to you guys that are coming through the training. We helped them get their product onto Amazon, and started running some marketing campaigns for them. And this one actually got Amazon's choice. So we'd obviously done something right, and in laying out all their keywords and getting all their bullet points in there and their sort of marketing together. Again, just to show you, that was the Atom Bug one. So again, we got that to Amazon's choice, which again all helps with the algorithm to sort of make sales and push their listing sort of forward amongst others that are out there. Again, just some more. That was a sponsored listing that we'd got running with a little bit of PPC on there that we can help people with. And then it was just a normal one again that was featured for Amazon's choice for one of their scooters. I help along with Adam put together their eBay listing. So I'm quite very sort of detail orientated and detail driven, and I'm my, one of my problems is I'm an absolute perfectionist. But by being a perfectionist and getting your listing absolutely bang on eBay, it helps set you out from the crowd, and it also gives that prospective buyer confidence that you are, bigger than what you may be, and it just gives that buyer confidence to buy from you, really. So we got, video in there, we got all the marketing right, all the bullet points, all the graphics look professional and everything, and all the detailing on there. We've got one of the lifestyle shots as a gallery listing, and then if you flick through there, we've got all the product shots that Wayne had taken. So we can help you build, a successful brand on particularly on eBay, which is my sort of forte. And then again, from sort of Amazon and eBay, they'd indicated that they wanted to go to one of the NEC trade fair shows, and I managed to help them negotiate them a quite a reduced rate. One of the stalls there to go and feature there, and eventually they did quite well in sales, from what I can gather. Though I think that was just before COVID, unfortunately. So I think they got stifled a little bit there. But again, if you want help in sort of setting your shop out correctly and getting to one of these NEC trade fairs, which is a great place to do business, then we can sort of obviously assist with that. And also international calls as well. There was a potential business opportunity for a toy supplier in Dubai. And Pam and Stephen were a little bit nervous about that. So both myself and Mick sort of jumped on there and sort of helped them guide them through it a little bit, along with Penny, their daughter, who's handling some of their marketing. And yeah, very, very closely got to being able to offer some containers into Dubai, really. So we can again assist with sort of things like that. So I'm going to give you a quick product case study. So Mobros, this was back in the day when I think everybody was growing beards. I've just kind of stuck with mine for now. And there was a big craze about beard grooming and what have you and all the rest of it. And Mobros was probably up there, and they were actually featured on Dragon's Den, and got investment from Dragon's Den, and it was quite an inspirational story, really. Again, you can go back and click on the YouTube sort of link and watch that on Dragon's Den. Um, and it was good to see sort of what was happening and how they were selling, and they were only selling on eBay and their own website. That was it. That was predominantly where all their sales were coming from. And obviously, with having your own sort of website, you've got to throw traffic, you've got to throw money at it, you've got to get it on Google. Got to start getting reviews. You've got to throw advertising at it and all the rest of it to get it going. But your customers are already there on eBay. You've just got to get your eBay listing in front of them, really. And you do that with keywords and the way you look and how you come across and having a really sort of good product. So that was their eBay store you can go and have a look at and check out. And I'd done some research on that. And I looked at beard grooming and all the rest of it. And being one of the beardy sort of brothers out there, I collected some data and I thought, oh, maybe there's something here for me to have a go at. Maybe there's a little vanity project or something, and maybe I can do something in the beard niche, and start selling out onto eBay. So my first protocol was looking at good old sort of Alibaba, really, and seeing what was coming up on Alibaba. And this is a great place to find, products that you can put your own brand on, and work out what is going to be a decent product. And you can go on the reviews of somewhere like Mobros and maybe see what people are complaining about and try and figure out, well, if they're complaining about that, how can I then change that for when I sell my product? How can I add something that's going to, uh, overcome that initial product, problem that they've got with maybe Mobros, and working out what sort of package sells. Is it the comb? Is it the scissors? Is it the balm? What I'm doing, putting it together. So you can initially get some ideas from Alibaba. And again, just another one there, another one that be able to put the logo on the box, and you can change the style of the box and make it look how you want to look. The rest of it. So this was my attempt. Chuck's beard bar. So I kind of went with the orange sort of look, the ginger look, really, and put it together. But I think the problem was I was too slow to react on this. I kind of took my time with it, and I think by the time I'd sort of developed it and got it together, and it was done as a project with some other people, and they'd gone off doing other things, and they'd sort of lost a little bit of enthusiasm for it. So I noticed sales had started to dwindle on eBay, and the competition had just got out there too much, really. So I've actually still got it here. If you can see the video, got it on there. Chuck's beard. So maybe one day I'll be able to pick that product back up. And what I could have probably have done is I probably should have set up a Shopify website and started selling it on Shopify and doing some maybe social media marketing with it and stuff like that. I've still got the concept, I've still got the idea, I've still got the website, but with a product like that, I can probably jump back onto it again, at another time, maybe when it comes back round again and beard grooming is in fashion, so to speak. So, any questions or anything like that? Anybody wants to ask quickly before we go on to the next slide? Anybody got anything? Unmute yourself. Don't forget to unmute yourself. You got any questions?
I'll ask
Yeah,
a
just
question, Lewis, if I may. Just on
Yes.
that point about what you were saying about speed to market.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like you were saying kind of two things quite rightly. Is one which is take your time, do your research, but secondly, don't miss the boat. So
Exactly.
how
Yeah.
how do you kind of get that balance? What in your experience, how do you
I
get that
I I
balance?
I missed the boat because I wasn't what I was selling on eBay wasn't beard related products, and I got onto the trend of beard related products too late. That I think that was my problem, and I'm trying to sort of overcome that is being plugged into your niche. So if you're in the golfing niche or the gym niche or the pet product niche, you want to be going to the shows in China. You want to be looking on the likes of Alibaba, AliExpress, DHgate, Global Sources, and typing in golfing hot products 2024, hot products 2025, because you'll get alerts and you'll get ideas and trends that start coming through these wholesale and Chinese websites, really, as to what they're gearing up for to sort of sell into the westernized world. That's the way to do it. I just got onto this fad, if you can call it a fad. I know it's still going and it's still out there. I got onto it too late. I got onto it on the back end when it exploded, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry was selling it, and I just thought it's too much trouble for my time to make small margins, particularly when I was bringing in containers and stuff. I wasn't going to start bringing in containers of Chuck's beard right away. I would have just done some air freight product and got it sold, got it selling like that. But it wasn't really worth my time just because I got on it too late, to be fair. But yeah,
Right.
quite rightly, you've got to find a balance, really. But you've got to hone in on what it is that you want to sell and do your research first, and then figure out, is it worth doing or not. And I kind of made the mistake where I got on the product too late. I'd done a bit of research and the numbers weren't great, but I thought, oh, do you know what, I'll give it a go, and I do it. But it just didn't come to fruition. It just didn't happen. But that's not to say that I don't think I could probably still sell the product. I'd just market it in a different way on a different sales channel. That's all.
I'll just make one comment with regards to the back end of the process as we get involved in it, particularly with China, and it's an expense to go out. You went through the story of Pam and Steve, and now they'd done their research and they got some expertise. Steve in particular had some expertise about what he was looking at. And the beauty of coming of those taking that instant decision, I'm going to go, we're going to get it sorted, was they could make quick decisions whilst they're out there and get things sorted by seeing
Yeah.
it. Now, that saved a lot of time in doing that. If not, if you didn't take that route, you would be doing a lot of toing and froing with regards to trying to make a decision, and that's where I see a lot of people going wrong. Is that it's not for
Yeah,
want
I
of,
agree.
say, the Far East taking too much time. It's this side where you're umming and ahhing and trying to
Yeah.
sample this, change this, decide, decide, undecide. If you just are there and then you can see it, you can get to that decision quickly.
Yeah. You can get very laissez-faire very quickly with emails going back and forth with suppliers and changing your mind, and life gets in the way and you get distracted. Once you're physically out in China, you're not distracted. You're there in the moment, like you say, making the decisions, and you're cutting through all that time and all them emails back and forth of maybe a little bit of Chinglish and miscommunication and all the rest of it that's going on. You can get your problems sorted straight away, can't you? And hopefully that's something that we'll start to offer sort of going forwards. Because I love going out to China and I can't wait to get back out to China. And I think with COVID, that was one of the issues why I decided to wind it down, because the level of money and containers that I was bringing in, I always wanted to be in China so I could ensure the product I was getting was the correct product, and overcome any issues there and then in China, as opposed to waiting for the stuff to get to me and then finding out, oh, there's a problem or something like that, really. So yeah,
Yeah.
It's
China
also
is definitely the way forward in being out there.
it's also the whole time zone thing, isn't it? That's what a lot of
Yeah.
people battle with. That's why if you're not there, you're not in China, it can take a lot longer. And then if you get a sample, you haven't asked the right questions, and then you've got to get another sample. That's another few weeks got away. So just getting out there and being out, but you've got to have got a plan and validated products before you go. And this is
100%.
where we're sort of like it's great, our kind of relationship with Mick, because we've kind of like talked about all the from both sides the issues that we've had, and I think all together as a team we're going to really nail this for people. So it's exciting, really.
Just a quick question from me. Obviously, as we got sourcing the product and then the packaging side, is that kind of organized direct with the supplier before the product lands, or how is the
Yeah,
packaging kind of organized?
depends on the product that you're bringing in. So what will happen is, some suppliers that you'll deal with will have their own packaging,
Hmm.
but that packaging might only be good to get the goods from China to you, if you know what I mean. It's not
Yeah,
packaging is for the retailer, and they might not offer that. They might not offer that kind of packaging. So then you'll have to find packaging company to be able to put your product in to sell it into retail. Now, you could either get that done in China, or you can have the product sent to you, and then you have the packaging company send all the packaging to you, and then you find a distribution company or whatever to obviously marry both together and send
yeah.
it in, or you try and get that organized in China. Better, to be honest, to try and get it organized in China. It's cheaper to do it that way, and obviously logistically a lot better if you're just shipping goods directly from China into sort of an Amazon FBA warehouse or whatever. But
Hmm.
again, that's something that we advise you on in the training, going
Yeah.
forwards. If there's questions or queries, the Facebook group, we can help you out with that, really.
Okay, thank you.
Away you go. So again, yeah, just to use the old analogy, everyone's heard it: give a man a fish and you'll feed him a day; teach a man how to fish and you'll feed him for a lifetime. And that's basically what the core principles are of finding sort of profitable products. It's what you need to learn. It's your first sort of start ladder on the, run on the ladder and all the rest of it to sort of get you going with this. And this is why, like I say, we're starting with finding profitable products. If you can master this part of the e-commerce process, then you'll have a skill for life. And by following our training, you'll be able to identify future products to sell. Understanding how to analyze products quickly and work out your margins before investing your money and time into importing is rudimental, really. You don't want to get stuck with overpriced products that you can't sell. And I've seen it. I've seen it before where people just go gun ho and think, if it's coming from China, great, it's going to be cheap, I'm going to get it, and they haven't done any research on the product. They've not looked at what their VAT, their duty, what the freight, charge is going to be. They haven't been able to work out those numbers. They haven't looked at what the average is selling for, and as Anna pointed out, how you're going to differentiate your product. There's a lot to this. So being able to analyze products quickly with software and techniques that will show you, you'll be able to quickly make a decision whether that product is right for you, whether it's going to fit within your brand, or whether it's got any money in it, any legs in it, and how you're going to sell it, really. And knowing where to find hot selling products and get ahead of the curve in terms of trends before the masses do will always put you in front for market penetration on retail marketplaces such as eBay, Amazon, and Etsy. That's one of the other things. If you can get in front of a product quickly before it trends or before it blows out, if you're selling that product first or second or third on eBay before everyone else does, you get market penetration on that platform. And what that does is if you're generating sales, and the way these algorithms work, they push your listing, your ad, before all the others. So no matter how many people are starting off in, the 200 or 150 or whatever listing of that particular product, they're going to have to throw a load of money at it in terms of PPC, ad spend, and all the rest of it to try and get it up to the front. And that eats into, everyone into their profits, really. So again, if you can get onto these products quickly and get onto these marketplaces, it all helps the algorithm in boosting your listing sort of further in front of people. So it's our mission to take you from a beginner to an advanced e-commerce expert, owning, managing e-commerce brands, selling online, and selling on retail marketplaces. So your journey starts here, really, and this is where we're going to sort of start from in finding profitable products. Leading on to group coaching calls is something else that we're going to be offering. We're going to be offering one-on-one coaching calls. We're going to be offering UK product sourcing events and meetups. These are going to be at the NEC trade fair shows that happen twice a year. We're also going to be introducing an advanced 12-month e-commerce training package, as well as China experience trips, which is where we want to try and get you to, really. But you need to probably start with a couple of these to begin with before you want to start going out to China. You want to get that training in there first, so you know what you're doing in your experience. As I say, China can be quite an experience, should we say. If you're not knowledgeable in China and how it all works, you can come a cropper, really. So you've got to be able to know how to source products, what you're going to sell, and how you're going to market them, I think, before you come out to China. So our first cohort workshop details. So you're going to be getting a video on demand training series by Anna. And Anna, do you want to just quickly go through what you're covering in your video on demand?
Yeah, it was like I was saying, these that is for me is a step-by-step process of becoming an e-commerce pro. Like we've said, I think everybody's got the message that you need to validate products before you actually source. So this is the kind of process that I go through with my own, my own product research and what I teach to others. So I'll start with the niche. Which niche am I going to focus on? And you might not have a clue on that. So initially you might think, well, let's get it down to 3 niches and then let's go for this niche to begin with. And that might change because I think it's really important to learn the process initially. So you'll find your niche, decide who that target customer is, then learn this research process of product selection and then product validation. And then focusing on building a brand. What is your differentiation? With lots of different case studies, and then working out your numbers and your calculations. So you're going to be in profit, and you know that. Yeah, I laugh with my students because I'll say, well, what is your what's your unit price or landed price? And they'll still they know me now. They're trying to make sure they remember it. Because it's just good to really know your numbers. So if you're going to reduce your price to kind of get ahead and get into that winning one spot on Amazon, that where your break-even point is. And then deciding where it is going to be that you're going to sell. Is it Amazon, eBay, Etsy, or building your own store? So yeah, those videos you'll be able to go through in your own time, which is great. And then Lewis is going to go on to do his live session, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'll be delivering a live session on the 29th of June. It's going to be between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And that's going to include things like, as I've said earlier, using Chinese wholesale portal sites, research software and tools, trends data that I use, and being able to find probable products with that data, product P&L, which obviously you've got to work out whether your numbers work or not. And I'm going to give you some sort of building brand case studies as well to sort of go through. And then after that, we're going to have a live Q&A session with hot seats it's going to be recorded for 90 minutes. And you're going to get a product research book, a validation. So from the training, you're going to hopefully be able to come to us in the 90-minute session, having identified maybe 4 or 5 products. And this workbook is going to help you go through that and writing notes and how you're going to be able to validate those products to make sure that they're okay. And once you've identified those, then you're going to be able to come onto the 90-minute workshop, and we'll go through those products with you and just make sure that you've got all the right boxes sort of ticked on the product. Have a look at it, give it the once over, and tell you whether it's a good product to get into, really, and just make sure you've got your numbers right. And then we've also got the private Facebook community that we're going to build with this, similar to what we've done in the past. We're going to run competitions and stuff like that. Once we start getting members through the training and what have you, and it's there as a resource for people to reach out to us, reach out to other students and ask questions and stuff like that. Just a quick way to get hold of us and kind of go from there, really.
I think the important thing on that point is just being able to get your ideas properly validated. Because, like I said to you before, my first product, just I was umming and ahhing, even though really it was because I doubted myself, because it's natural, isn't it? You've not done it before, so you need someone just to go, yeah, you're on the right track.
Yeah, exactly. Just give that heads up. And then, yeah, if you're interested in coming on that training, we've got the payment gateway link there. Or if you want to ask any other questions, you can do, or reach out to Mick, Dave, and Claire at the Pro Canoe Club. You can do if you need any other bits of information or whatever. It's $495 plus the VAT. I think it's very good value for money. As I say, if you want to go and learn to be a plumber, you've got to go and educate yourself. You want to be an electrician, you've got to go and educate yourself. And this is your first step, really, in becoming successful at e-commerce. And it's all about starting with identifying profitable products. If you can master that, then you're on the right way, really. You're on the winning streak. So we've got
It's
any other
already
questions from
whirling
anyone?
about lots of different products now.
Dave, after we do all these sessions, Dave will be reaching out to us saying, what about this? What about
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, early on I was doing, Anna, what about this?
that?
Yeah, no, thank you for that. It's good to see the level of detail you've gone into, obviously, the people the background of it, because I constantly get 20-year-olds tell me that they can give me business coaching and all this kind of stuff, and you just like, so it's good that we've got your background behind you, and the honesty as well, like, so, and that's a quality that we share with the Pro Club and Essential Sourcing. So Barry, I hope you've enjoyed it. Enlightening.
Yeah, so yeah, very good. Yeah, interesting stuff. So yeah, I'll
Give
definitely
you a
be
bit more of a taste and a
yeah,
flavour, and hopefully chomping at the bit now.
yeah. No, it's yeah, really good. Thank you.
That's good.
So we've got
Um,
loads of really good product case examples as well to show in the training. It's like we don't want to give up. It's like we don't want to give it all away just in the in the webinar. Really, we want to save the juicy product case studies for the training. Really, that's really gonna open up your eyes and get those juices flowing. And like Dave was saying, having these light bulb moments of like, I want to look at this, I want to look at that, or I want to look at importing. But, there's loads of products that I've imported over the years, and I can show bill of ladings, containers, figures, pictures, eBay listings, Amazon listings for it, how I've marketed it, what I've done. I've got it all there to share, to sort of, like I say, get them light bulb moments going, and give you, proper credibility in what I've done and products that, me and Anna have brought in. There's a couple of products as well. I think we were mainly going to touch upon it, but maybe we'll save that for something else. But that's one of them there. That was
I
one of
nearly
our
mentioned it
little
before
joint efforts.
when you were talking about the beard grooming kit. I nearly mentioned
Yeah. with our USP. But we'll save that for the training, shall we? Because
Yeah,
that was quite a fun product, and that was something that we got. We just hit the timing on that perfectly before all the hype kicked in, and then when all the competition started moving in, we were always one step ahead. Selling
yeah.
in the UK, then we're selling in Spain, then we're selling in Germany, and all the rest of it. And it was it was a really good product. They've been running for like 12. We initially thought we're just going to get 3 months out of this fab
Yeah,
product.
I think it was
And I
about
think we got like
months in the
6 to
end.
12 months out of
Yeah.
it, didn't we? In the end, it was good, and we made some really good margin on that. Particularly when there was the flood at the Milan Amazon warehouse, wasn't there? Because we managed to get full retail price for them, so that was good. That was a bonus.
That was the best sales day when Amazon all our product, because they will refund you the retail cost of them. So but yeah, I think that's the thing, we've got loads of it. I think when we share the case studies, it helps you. We just know from experience it helps it come alive for you, so you can start thinking, because I think sometimes people just don't know where to start with it all. And I really do think the live sessions with Lewis and then bringing it together with the the validation is especially, I've just thought about like my journey with products, what we would have needed. Plus, I think also this gives you a taster, doesn't it? Because like I was saying to you before about the investment into my sort of 12 months program, before you invest thousands, you got 495 quid, you can work out, if you validate a product, you got that first product, you can start the ball rolling, rather than what I've seen people do before is they invest all of this money into training, they've got no money left for like inventory and stock. So it's really important that you dipping your toe in and getting going. And we're a big believer in that as well, aren't we? Around investing in learning. So obviously I think we've probably sold it enough now as regards to the value in it. And you can tell we're passionate, we live and breathe all this kind of stuff. So we just can't wait to get back out to China now.
Definitely. When are we going, Mick? That's the question. When are we going?
Well, we provisionally we were talking about if we got a few, we were going to do a pilot sort of trip across in October, weren't we? That was the way to go. Remember, I'm about 85 years old now, so I need to be hurrying up a little bit. So, but no, I'm as passionate as you. I was in China in April, so it's
take you a few months to recover.
My theory has always been this, that a year in the UK is 7 years in China in terms of how they far ahead. So I've missed, since the same as you, 2019. They've advanced 4 or 5 years in that time, probably 30 years in that time. It's just off the scale. They're at it. So you love them or loathe them, you've got to be part of it, because that's where it's at.
Yeah. Still the manufacturing engine of the world, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. There's other other destinations, as we know, and where we do a fair amount in Vietnam as well, which is a place that we can take people to. But at the minute, if for this style of product that you talk about, China is still the place.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Right. Well,
again, thanks for your time.
The webinar, no problem. Good to see you all. Good to see you, Anna.
Yeah, good to see you Friday at the
see you Friday.
Yes, we shall see you Friday. Definitely.
Okay. Right. Perfect. I can watch the rest of the football.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
No worries.
All right.
Take care.
Cheers, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.